Hello, everybody. That's fine. Hi. That's fine. Thank you. It is another week, so we have another XGR for you, our X-Pound Gaming Radio podcast. As always, we will start with the news, and then go to catch up where we talk about the games, two of the games we've played this week, and then the discussion topic, which this week is all the Hyrule Warriors information that they've released and all the stuff we know so far. And also, stay tuned for next month where we're going to do our award show. Basically, like the whole month, we're going to have like we're going to first go through the best and worst of different categories of all that stuff and of pretty much all time. So it's not limited to a year. It's just stuff we've played. It doesn't matter if it's from 1986 or 2006. It'll probably be covered. So as always, joining me are Anastasia Lazerbeam.
Woo!
And Chriz, a.k.a. the Mole.
Thank you.
And I am Richter Hammer, the stay-at-home dad gamer. So first off, we will start with the news, and I'll go first. Why not? I guess this is mini news just because no one's ever really heard of it. But Atlas announced that they are going to bring Tears to Tiara 2, Heir of the Overlord, to North America and Europe this fall. The release date is October 14th, and it will be $40 exclusive to PS3. And it's basically a strategy RPG with, quote, exciting story that unfolds like a visual novel. And if I remember correctly, my wife... she actually had heard a little bit about this. It's supposedly based off like a Thurian legend or something, so it sounds pretty cool. I know there was a demo on the Japanese PSN, but you know it's an RPG and reading kind of helps those, so I haven't really played it much, but it looks actually pretty cool, so we will see in October.
That does sound pretty cool.
Oh, and it's November 11th for Europe is the release date. So it's like not quite, a little bit less than a month later than the US.
Nice. I can go next if you want.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Capcom has confirmed that it is producing a HD remaster of the 2002 GameCube Resident Evil remake. So it's a remake of a remake. And the title won't be coming to the Wii U, despite it being a Nintendo exclusive, which some people are for. But it's set for a digital launch next year. The new version of Resident Evil is also coming to PC, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and will boast 1080p visuals on next-gen systems, or current-gen as it should be. Last-gen consoles. See, it's got next-gen, then last-gen. What about current-gen?
Wow. They don't live in the present.
Last-gen consoles will showcase 720p graphics, while all versions will offer support for 5.1 surround sound. The original 4.3 aspect ratio will be selectable, but you'll also be able to pick a 16.9 aspect ratio. And we've seen how that is, but there's a new scrolling camera which improves upon static view used in the original game. That's what they're saying. Multiple control methods will also be included.
Improves is not a phrase I would use or word I would use based off the screenshot of the 16:9, but yeah.
Yeah,
and for a second, I thought you said multiple troll methods, and I was like, Capcom. Oh, wait, you said control.
Yeah. I also looked at the picture. It's like a 16:9 screenshot, and it cuts off parts of the screen, which you don't want in a survival horror.
Yeah.
But, the PS3 and 360 editions are expected to launch before Christmas this year. So all of you out there who are disappointed by the fact games like Evolve and Siege have been delayed till 2015 will actually be able to pick up this game to fill up your Christmas stockings. And the PS4 and Xbox One versions are coming in early 2015. The Japanese price will be 3,990 yen. If you wonder what that is, that's $38 or £23. So yay, I'll probably buy it now. I don't think ours will be £25. I think they're going to round it to 23. I think they'll round it to 25 Like I can see yours being $40, not $38,
Yeah.
because that seems like an odd number, which means we'll probably pay more for it in Japan. But still, that was my mini news. Over to Pew Pew.
Alright. News comes courtesy of Mole, who has graciously given it to me.
And I gave it the
Ubisoft.
news.
Nice. High five, bro. No, wait, that's the card. Anyway.
Ubisoft has announced a new Hasbro game channel, which will bring classic board games to consoles. The channel it has 3 games for Xbox One and PS4: Monopoly Plus, Risk, and Trivial Pursuit Live. Basically, these Hasbro classic games will have updates for the digital audience, and they will have both online and offline play up to 6 players. They have achievements and awards for people who, like that thing. I think they're only good for puns. And I like this part where it says a colorful and lively 3D board that evolves with the game.
Yeah, for Monopoly.
Cool. Like,
yeah, the Monopoly one with 3D colourful one that evolves with gameplay seems so much like Streets if you played that on PS3. No?
I didn't. No, sorry.
I was only saying that because I realised Pew Pew starting to break up like mad.
Yeah.
I landed on a space, it literally.
But I did have that news.
Uh-huh.
And basically what that news said was, it mentioned, with the changes to those 3 games, Monopoly Plus allows up to 6 people, and it mentions about creating custom house rules included. Traditional nice. 2D board and a 3D version that evolves with gameplay. Risk features online league play, modern armies, and 3D battlefields, and the 2010 rules, but you can change them. And Trivial Pursuit has now been molded into a game show.
Oh.
360 and PS3 have to, it's coming out on those too, but you have to buy them individually. Whereas on the PS4 and Xbox One, you can just download the channel and play them via that.
Oh.
And it says price. No word on pricing structures yet, but I'm hoping if it's not a subscription to actually subscribe to the channel, like if you can buy a pass that gives you access to free games, and then when the other games are out, buy access to them and stuff, I'd totally do that. Just that sounds fun. I'd so sit here and play you on Monopoly.
There you go.
And has Pew Pew managed to fix their audio yet? Pew Pew.
I'll take that as a no.
Okay then.
Okay. Did you move to the big news then? All right. So for the big news, I think it's pretty cool. But they announced that there were some new Xbox One bundles. One is the one with Madden 15, but nobody cares about that. There's one that's going to come with Sunset Overdrive. No price announced for that, but it is going to be the white Xbox One, which, yay, that thing looks really cool. So I'm excited about that, and I think they said they had a picture of the controller to match. Hopefully the Kinect is also white, although it wouldn't really matter because they're not that close to each other once you get them out of the box. But
although if it's like the 360 one, it'll only be able to read white people.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I was pretty excited about that because the white one looks really nice.
I could see that, and I will admit, when Sony announced the white PS4, I was like, ugh. However, with Xbox One, I'm like, well, the 360 to me, its color is white. I can tolerate that. Like, it can be black or white based on the original Xbox and 360. White totally lends itself to that and Nintendo systems. I don't think it lends itself to PlayStation, even though PlayStation 1 used to be grey. And they had white PS1s and stuff. To me, PlayStation's black, but a white Xbox One does sound pretty awesome. Totally need to buy that with Madden.
The Madden
Just
one
so
is
I just so I could just so I can hold it up to the camera on Madden and go, Rick, someone did care. Fuck you. And then the next
but
week, oh, so you played your Madden game? No, I traded it in. But why did you get it? To prove you wrong.
the Madden one's not white though.
No.
It's only as far as I know, only the Sunset Overdrive one as of this time is white.
Ah, so only the black ones good at American football.
Yes.
I feel like there's dangerous territory there.
Yeah, I was gonna leave that unsaid. But sure, we'll go there. I didn't make the bundle. That's all I'm saying. I didn't start the fire. It was already burning while the world was turning.
Nice. How was it gonna leave it unsaid? But no, that does sound
like
cool.
you look at a picture and it's fine, but then like you say something out loud, you're like, oh no, the Madden comes with the black one. You're like, God, that just sounds terrible when you put that into words. You see a picture and you're like, oh, it's the system with the game. I'm just gonna make this worse by keep talking about it. So.
Yeah, there's no way we can redeem ourselves. Let's dig further.
Yeah, that's right. No, dig up, stupid.
That's how moles fly.
Nice.
I don't know if you remember that on one of the MMOs when I took flight,
Uh-huh.
and I think it was Marcus, or so it was either Marcus or Jim was like, "How does it make sense for you to fly? You're a mole." So I'm digging up. I'm like, no,
Nice.
that just raises more questions. How are you digging up? Well, what I'm doing is I'm pushing the air below me.
That's
like,
right.
no.
I'll allow it.
But my news this week, my big news this week, is they announced on IGN First, because IGN First all this month, as you may have seen in, I believe it was Around the Pound News, mentioned by Marcus Shadow, or it was WXR, one of the two, was they're taking this month all of WWE 2K15. And 3 bits of news came from it. First of all, we had a screenshot, which, in my opinion, looked fucking awesome. I linked it to Rick before this conversation began. What did you think of the picture?
That looked really good.
That did. Which means CAWs are really going to look out nice.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming that also that screenshot, besides probably being really high end, like one of those normal teaser shots where it's like a little bit better than the game looks, had to have been from the current gen version.
It was. It was from
like there's no way that's like the 360 or PS3 version.
If it is, I really look forward to the PS4 version.
Oh my lord, that. When did Raw become 3D? That's not Raw.
I'm actually hoping, because they only showed off Cena, because they actually scan the wrestlers now.
Right.
I'm hoping we get rid of stuff like when JBL was on there with a six-pack.
Oh, yeah.
Or when Mark Henry was all muscle. I'm like, no, personally, I'm not saying, oh, these guys are fat, let's make fun of them, because I'm fat. And personally, I'm one of those people who thinks the various body types of WWE is what makes the characters interesting. Big Show is not interesting because he's all muscle. He's interesting because he's a large, fat man that can beat the crap out of people. Mark Henry's a similar way and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like Cena being that muscled makes him more impressive to look at in terms of body and like Orton and people like that than, say, your Bray Wyatts or your Big Shows or your Mark Henrys. And having that difference actually helps make the superstars that look better for how they've worked on their body look better, and the ones that don't still look more impressive because it's more real.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of the action figures, how there's like two bodies. Like Rey Mysterio's all like ripped, but they make it shorter now, and you're like, okay, you're kind of getting there. And Rey Mysterio has muscle, but he doesn't look like that.
And I just got a message from Anastasia Lazerbeam saying she can't hear us when she gets put into the conversation. Which means I don't know what we'll... Hang on. Which means I don't know how we're going to do this.
I don't either. But that's what makes it fun.
Hang on, I know what I'll do. But yeah, the picture looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does. Well, didn't you say people thought it was fake because it looked so good?
Yeah, some people thought it was fake. Some people thought they took a real photo and just used Photoshop to make it look worse.
Mm.
So it was a screenshot.
Nice.
And like, wow. We now live in a world where that happens. The next bit of news they announced was they announced the single player modes.
Yay.
Korea, that's it.
Korea. Oh, okay. I was like, Creator?
Yeah, I didn't know how to. Don't ask me why, but yeah, basically they've said it's starting out with all gens. There's something called a new story mode, 2K Showcase. Last year, they mentioned they did the 30 years of WrestleMania and stuff like that. And this year, they've decided to do more of an up-close personal story than a broad history.
Mm.
So they're doing a couple of feuds. They haven't said what they are yet, but they could be anything from like Austin v The Rock to Undertaker v Kane and stuff. And they're going to stretch those two film feuds out a bit and do them in 2 chapters. So it's going to be like more like you get a sense of what this feud meant, which I kind of like that. The next bit is they've said, in addition to reliving the golden WWE memories, you can finally have a true and discreet career mode for your. Why can't I say that word?
I don't know.
Discreet career mode for your created wrestlers in my career. This mode has been lifted from NBA 2K14 and adapted to WWE environment. It says, imagine replacing all the cheeseball amateur hour characters from NBA with from the NBA one. Yeah, because the NBA one did have some acting cheesy. With authentically voiced mocap WWE wrestlers, you get the picture. Exact details of the mode are still forthcoming, but all we know is it's on current gen only, and it actually says current gen, yay. 360 and PS3 do not have that mode.
Interesting.
Part of it is because they've gone into the scanning stuff, which they can only do on the next gen stuff.
Yeah.
But I like that idea for the mode. I like that idea for the mode, and I'm looking forward to that mode.
Yeah, it definitely means that I would want to wait and play the current gen version. Although it kind of adds to the pile of games where they're just like, oh, you need the PS4 or the Xbox One version because the 360 PS3 version, we're not going to put some stuff in there.
Yep.
Whether or not it's a technical thing, it always feels like bad. We're just oh, yeah, we're not putting that mode in there. Forget that. Like, well.
Yeah, I understand that. I saw some people be like, but that means we're being screwed. So it's like I said, I can understand it more because, ironically, that mode could have been in last gen. I honestly believe it could have been, and they could have done it with the models if, and I don't know if Richter will hate me for saying this, but if 360 wasn't shit in a certain regard. I don't mean in all regards, I just mean in one regard of multiple games last gen got shrunk down to fit a DVD size because developers were told by Microsoft you can't use multiple discs. Which means PS3 Blu-rays weren't being filled. Next gen, PS4 and Xbox One are both using Blu-ray. No one has that limitation anymore. At least I thought it was kind of a cheap limitation. Of saying to the other people, no, you can't make the other game have a lot more because they're using better technology. It's like, well, just let them use more discs for you.
Yeah, I think they've relaxed that a bit because there are some games that are multiple disc.
Nice.
But yeah, well, I don't know about a lot of space on Blu-rays going to waste. Stupid Blu-rays. I don't know. Anyway.
You don't like Blu-rays?
Because their compression technology is garbage. That's why there's like 50 gig installs. And that's why file sizes are bigger on the PS3 because of Blu-ray. It has worse like unpacking technology.
I thought the installs were bigger on PS3 because they were made for 360 first and ported to PS3. So the patches would be to fix it.
No, it's because it's Blu-ray because it holds so much. It's not as compressed, so you get higher quality, but it comes at the size of it can't compress as much. That's why installs are like a lot bigger. And I'm like, oh, is that why?
Ah, that makes sense. That actually makes sense. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
something that always bothered me. Of like, you get a game like say the wrestling game, and it would be like say 4 gigabytes or 5 gigabytes or whatever based on the size of the
Yeah.
DVD. It's like 5 gigabytes. A Blu-ray can hold 50, and I'm
Yeah.
like, when I'm holding the PS3 in my hand, part of me feels like I'm only holding 10% of what this should be, or whatever the actual maths would be. You know, I
Yeah.
think it's 10%.
Well, any
It's
extra
10 for 10
space,
is 50.
usually they put. I think they just put some of the information twice, like because I've heard that Metal Gear Solid 4 is literally on the Blu-ray like 4 times, so it loads faster.
Yeah, I've heard that. Where some of them they do that. Like some of the PS3 exclusives haven't even taken advantage of a full Blu-ray, but I feel like they could have, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like next gen, I'm thinking because of the size of the games, we shouldn't be getting games that you can complete in 2 to 6 hours anymore. They should all be like Mass Effect size with what you can do. Maybe that's wishful thinking. Maybe
It's
that's a
very
topic
wishful.
for
It'd be
another.
nice, but there you go.
But the third bit of news, they announced a collector's edition for the game, which I'm totally want to buy. I give to you, Rick, the Hulk Hogan edition. It comes with, and are you ready to facepalm because this is in the description as usual? It comes with a copy of the game. Yeah,
I
premium
blame
packaging.
Wolfenstein for making that not a thing to not say now. I
Yeah.
think it was Wolfenstein. It's like, here's the collector's edition. Doesn't have the game, so you could buy it with whatever edition. No, now you've justified the people listing that.
Yeah, it's like no, but yeah, it comes with premium packaging. In other words, a box to hold all the other stuff.
not the normal case that a game comes in. It comes in a cardboard one
Yeah, but
outside of that.
contains the normal case. It's like
Yeah.
Now the rest of the stuff's good. Comes with like the other version. It comes with 2 pre-order launch exclusive Sting characters.
Mm.
This one also comes with 2 launch exclusive Hulk Hogan characters, of black and white NWO Hogan, and the red and yellow with the long tights Hogan. You get an actual piece of the in-ring canvas from the night Hulk Hogan appeared on Monday Night Raw, March 10th, 2014.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
A collectible art card hand-signed by Hulk Hogan. And like Jim had mentioned with that, apparently, you know, like when you get some collector's editions with signatures and you can tell they've been printed.
Right.
With this one, 2K actually apparently had a photo up or something. Hulk Hogan literally signed each one by hand.
Nice.
I'm like, nice. And it comes with an exclusive Funko Hollywood Hulk Hogan, so black and white NWO, yay, vinyl figure, which looks so fucking adorable. It's like, you know, like my little Megaforce figure.
Yeah, it's
Like that of NWO Hogan. Sorry, Megaforce. When he comes, you've been replaced. But yeah, that was the news.
I don't know.
We can hear you, Stace.
Yay.
It has risen. But we did the little news. I picked up on your little news and continued it for you since I had it. Now on big news, and I just finished my big news, so it's over to you for your big news.
Okay, cool. I'm outside as physically possible to the internet as can be, so like I can't get any better than this. So let's hope it works. Anyway, so Sleeping Dogs is coming to Xbox One and PS4. Woo! I have liked all the you know, re-releases of stuff and like HD remakes and everything, so this should be fun. And I never played the game, so this is a good opportunity for me and any other person to also get interested in the game if they haven't before.
I will say for
Coming on.
So you go.
November. See, 10 is October, right? October
yes.
14th. Yeah. I had to think about it.
I love the fact she
October
asks us. It's her news. We don't have it.
I was thinking out loud, like, because it says 10/14. I wanted to say the month, but like I was thinking out loud. October.
Fair enough. Yeah, which for people who like the game, that's pretty cool. I will admit, I had Sleeping Dogs. Did not like the combat. However, the game itself, if people liked it, like I know Marcus loved it, I'm not
Yeah.
going to say the game's completely shit, avoid it. That's for later on. No. But no, if you liked it, it's totally worth checking out. Although I will say that also falls into the category I don't like. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but that's something that's been bugging me recently.
What's that?
I understand PS2 to PS3 remakes because you get it in HD. PS3 to PS4, it's just making it slightly better graphics at this point, and I'm like, it's already in HD. You've gained
Yeah.
nothing. Whereas you could
Well, I think-
argue with PS2 and GameCube ones, they were designed for TVs you didn't have then. Now they're designed for an all-new TV, so I'm like, ah. But what were you saying, Mick? 'Cause I realized we started to talk at the same time.
Oh, that's fine. That game and Tomb Raider, I actually understand that completely. Just because they said, I don't remember when it was. It was a couple months after they come out that those didn't meet like their sale expectations. So I can understand why they would do that. I don't agree with that choice because yeah, it's kind of silly. Like it's not like more HD. It's not like in 4K or anything. But I can understand why they would do that because they're like, oh well, there's not as many games to play in those systems. I know what we'll do. We'll just like throw all the stuff on it and then like someone will buy it because they'll have a PS4 and they'll be like, what can I play? They're like, oh, I'm gonna pick up Tomb Raider and Sleeping Dogs, even though I could play them on the PS3 I still own.
I kind of understand the logic, like from what you said, but part of me thinks that that's ass backwards.
Yeah.
The logic of it didn't sell, let's release it again on a different format. That would be like basically Disney saying, and as good as this film was, that'd be like Disney saying, hey, you know the new Lone Ranger film? That didn't quite sell as well as we wanted to. Let's re-release it in 3D. Or let's release it in IMAX or something, and people will buy it. And I'm like, no, that's not how this should work. If people weren't interested in it the first time, the fact you've said, look, it's slightly polished, is almost, even though those games are good, it's almost the definition of polishing a turd.
Like,
It definitely is the definition of polishing the turd when it comes to The Last of Us.
I honestly kind of expected. Well, I if they did release the Lone Ranger in like IMAX 3D, I would be like, yeah, I could see them doing that.
And yeah, I will say it doesn't mean that bad. It just means they were overlooked by people. Like Tomb Raider was a fucking great game.
Yeah.
Ironically, it had the problem of there was no tomb raiding in Tomb Raider. That was the tombs were optional. I had a problem with that, but apparently they fixed that in the second one. But it was still pretty good. Like Lone Ranger was a pretty good film. So was John Carter, but so many people just didn't go to see him, or Dread and stuff. It's like, why? What's wrong with you people? What's wrong with people where it's like, ooh, this is a new IP. It looks good, but I'm not sure we can trust it. Let's go get new Call of Duties, or let's go out and watch the sequel, the like fifth Expandables film. It's like, fuck off and watch something good, people.
Actually, with the Dread one, I'm more annoyed that people are like, oh, that's the one that ripped off the Raid, and it's like, no.
Yeah, because it was being made.
Learn to read.
It was being made at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, because they like leaked the Dread script or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, let's do that."
Yeah.
Like it's the exact opposite of what you think. Stop.
Yeah, because I would even go so far as to say I'm not going to say they were Raid ripped off Judge Dredd. I'm going to say maybe they're actually similar enough that they were just being made at the same time, in which case I can excuse it. But yeah, people say.
Yeah.
But the two biggest complaints I saw with Dredd was, it's that. Or the second biggest complaint I saw was I saw some people say, it's based on a UK comic. Who gives a shit? It's not Batman or Superman. And I'm like, fuck you. It's better than Batman and Superman. I'm sorry, Dredd is a Judge Dredd 2000 AD. I'm not just saying that because I'm UK, because I love American comics, and you guys have more comics that are better than ours. But Dredd is probably one of the best running series of comics.
Yeah.
It's not the best one-shot comic, because that would go to Kingdom Come or Watchmen, but still, it's still fucking a great series that people need to read. Rant over on the Gaming Zone. More on that next month.
Yeah. There's never an end to the rants.
No, I say more on that next month, that exact rant, because, spoiler alert, one of the Judge Dredd games does get my least favourite game. Just because they did not understand the game and made a generic first-person shooter and didn't understand how the fuck that world works and why it's so fucking intertwined and all.
I didn't know there was a first-person shooter of it. I remember the like third-person RoboCop versus Terminator like game of it.
Yeah, they did a couple of shooter ones too. Like one of them was Dread vs. Death. Which that comic in itself is fucking wonderful. The game, no. But more on that next month.
Rawr.
Yes, rag. And other words that aren't English, like pigman. Pigman, rag. Hey.
It's a word. That's how I say it.
All right, so now we'll go into the catch-up section where we talk about up to 2 of the games that we played the previous week. So anyone want to jump in with theirs first?
I will let Pew Pew go first.
Okay, so games I played were Borderlands 2 and Mass Effect. Start with Borderlands 2. I got back into it because, I don't know why, something about, I don't know, shooting or whatever, because that's like a shooter that normally I don't like shooters, but like this one's very enjoyable. So it was fun, and I got back into it, and I leveled like the dialogue and stuff. Like, I was just playing this one mission where he's like, fuck it all, I'm calling these animals boner farts now, and I'm like, wow. Really? And then it's like, in the title of like what the character you're fighting or the animal you're fighting is, it replaces the name with Poliwag or whatever the fuck it's called. And it replaces it with farts. And I'm like,
Okay,
Good old Hammerlock.
can we please, dear God, can we please get a campaign started right now to make the back of Borderlands 2 when they inevitably when they release it on PS4? Can we have the back of the box have the review of I was after something to shoot or whatever, and well, it's kind of enjoyable, I guess. End quote. Anastasia Lazerbeam.
Yeah, you had me in by the boner farts, no?
Call them Bonafots.
Maybe my publicist can't say that boner farts, but I'll come up with a better name.
I will say I loved Rick's accent then.
Yeah, I was trying to imitate his voice.
I know, but it's not like when Jim
He
does it,
talks
it
like-
sounds like
yeah.
his voice slightly different.
Oh. He talks like that like Dr. Livingston, I presume, like voice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
so I was playing that. That was super fun. And then Mo was like, hey, guess what? Good thing I'm not a drug dealer because I get you addicted to all sorts of things.
That's true.
So,
Whoa! We're not here to discuss the blowjob, Stace.
fuck off. So, he
Yes,
got
we
me
are.
Just to steal the DX joke.
That's
I
what
did
we
not
played
sleep.
last week.
Just to steal the DX joke, I will say I did not sleep with Anastasia Lazerbeam. In fact, we were up all night.
Nice.
Thank you.
Anyway, so like he got me addicted to Dragon Age. Now I'm replaying the Mass Effect series, and I haven't really put it down since. I even play it like an hour before work. So, yeah, I've been non-stop playing that, and it's been really fun. I hate, like, 5 seconds in an Mako. I already hated it. Like, literally, I counted. Because that was the first time I got into it, and literally 5 seconds later, I'm like, fuck. And you know what? I'm spinning around so many times. Sometimes I think I'm playing a Tony Hawk game. Because, like, literally, my freaking Mako was doing 360s, the 180s, or ollies, or whatever you skateboarder people call them. But I was doing so many flips and spins and everything, it was ridiculous. I'm like, I feel like I should get points for this, you know, like style bonuses. I'm crushing the guess in, like, style. I'm doing it with, like, twists, or, like, that's like a triple axel or something right there, you know?
That's because the Mako is actually called Moon Buggy Simulator from the creators of Goat Simulator.
I'm doing like triple spins in the air before I land on a guest's face. That should be like extra points or something.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I should get like extra style points for that. But like, yeah, so that like 5 seconds, and then I instantly hated the fucking Mako, which is the, you know, if you don't know, it's the fucking vehicle you have in the game. So, and while I like the concept of it, in the second one they took it out. But, like, I wish they would have, like, fixed that shit, you know? If it worked, it'd be awesome. Like, I like traveling places and makes the planets feel more like, you know, they're actual planets, not like, okay, this entire city is one fucking planet, you know? And it's not like that. Like, that's some, I'd argue that's some Star Wars shit, because I only see, like, one city per planet, but, like, I'm sure that Mo could totally correct me on that, but anyway, like, that's how I felt, like, in the second one, and now, like, I don't know, I feel like it went too far, but anyway, I'm playing the first one.
Mo could correct you on that one just by saying, watch Star Wars Episode 4 where they have to travel to a different city.
On the same planet? What?
Tatooine.
They have multiple cities on planets?
They also do have a planet that is one city.
Yeah, they do.
And that's at least very interesting, though. I like how they did that.
Anyway, so, yeah, my whole team is basically Garrus and Liara. I hate, like, the controls on here. Thank God I chose,
I thought it was Garrus and Tally.
Oh, that's right, Garrus and Tally. I said Liara instead of Tally. Because fucking, I don't know, I like Liara, but she's like, meh, she's like the equivalent of a Ginger Asari. She is. Wow. She's like got souls and, like, she's boring and, like, I don't like her and she has no soul. So she's Gingery Liara, and I ignore her.
She has a soul.
No, she's secretly a ginger under that blue skin, because the freckles tell all. So anyway, so yeah, I'm not even romancing anybody in this one, and I specifically chose a male shepherd so I could get with Tally in the second one. But I guess the only reason you can't be with her in the first one is because she's on her right of maturity or whatever, so it'd be pedophilia if you had romantic relations with her in the first one.
Yeah,
so,
legal. Playing both of them with Tally, it's a case of waiting for it to ripen, then pop.
I think she's freaking legal. She seems like at least like between the ages of like 16 and like 24. You know, she's between those ages, and you know, I think she has enough intelligence to give consent. But whatever. But like anyway, the game says you can't do it to the second one, so fine. So yeah, I've been doing that, and I don't know. It's okay. The first one's not my favorite. Like I said, I'm a Vanguard, so I don't have to use the sniper, so I don't get slosh-faced when I'm using the controls, or like act like your character's like friggin' slosh-faced when they use it. Because it'll just go up and down, and like, I swear, it's like, are you even pointing in the general direction? I'm just gonna stick this gun in places and hope it hits people. Like, I feel like that's the controls of Mass Effect 1 with the gun. That's why I have shotgun fuck aiming. I'm not gonna even try. I'm gonna get so close to you and point blank, there you go, I don't have to worry about it anymore. So that worked out pretty well for me, and if you don't like the controls of the first one, I'd think say shotgun best friend, you don't need aiming.
Fair enough.
So that's my phone. That's what I played this week.
Fair enough. Did you want to go next, Rick, or should I?
You go next.
Okay. Kind of makes sense, because I can piggyback off Stacy by saying I was playing Mass Effect 2 this week. I completed the first one, and started to play the second one. I got all the bonuses and shit for importing your character. I earned extra trophies I hadn't actually got the first time through, like, I don't know, allowing everyone to not die. Yeah, that was kind of a good one. But I was playing through the second one. I loved the second one. I fucking really do love it. I can't think of anything that's worse than the second one. The first one has more glitches. The second one still has some glitches, though. I'm not going to say it doesn't. Like, I keep getting the same audio glitch I got in the first one. If you know what that is, you probably have got it at least once.
You don't get the dialogue, but their mouth moves and you see the subtitles?
Nope. The audio glitch I get is when the gun starts to fire, then suddenly it can't make the gun noise properly, so it goes from to and it keeps doing that the whole fucking time. So I end up quitting and restarting from checkpoint just to fix the audio, because if you try to load in, it doesn't work. You have to exit and come back in. That glitch is still there, like it was in the first one. So is the fact the game's froze a couple of times, like the first one did. And I'm like, hopefully when I replay through the third one, I notice those glitches have been fixed, because otherwise, yeah. But the missions I don't like on the second one are, I didn't like the little vehicle missions, because they were like, but they're optional, so yay. I also really didn't like the DLC of not the Arrival. I figure it might be the Arrival. It was one of the missions where you had to go through. I think it was definitely the Arrival. We have to go through, and there's like these tribes that now worship the Reapers and stuff, which is kind of cool. But then it puts you in a room, and it says survive as long as you can. And from what I've seen, from what people were saying online when I looked it up, because I kept dying there, it's impossible to survive, to actually survive the waves. You have to keep killing them, and eventually they kill you, and then you get the part where you now wake up in prison. It's like, oh, okay, fine. But
Oh, it's one of those things.
yeah, I hate it when games do that, because the part of me kept restarting it because I wanted to succeed, if that made sense. I was like, oh. But
I personally hate unwinnable like fights and stuff in games. I feel just make that a cutscene. If you're giving me control, at least let me have control. Like, I hate that, like an RPG is like, oh look, I'm the boss, and I'm like, well, can I win? And like usually they hit you once and they do like 90%. You're like, oh, I'm not supposed to win this. I just put the controller down. I'm like, well, fuck you, game.
Yeah, and it's just like, but I will say the second one, I like all the characters in the second one better. Like I fucking love Miranda. She's my favorite Mass Effect character. I actually, which some people will disagree with, I actually prefer Grunt to Rex, because I love the fact that Grunt's like just, he's more philosophical and more of a thinking character, if that makes sense. Of like he questions whether or not he's real, even though he was like a test tube baby, whether or not being a test tube baby means he's fake, or whether or not he's actually real inside. He fights his desires and all this, and like parts of it he hates you and grabs you and slams you against the wall, which is kind of fun. I love the fact you get some choices of like replacing Samara with her own daughter if you want to. I couldn't quite do that this time around, because last time round I played through as either good or evil, can't remember which one, more so than any other one, so the bar was up high enough I could resist the daughter to get the choice. This time I couldn't resist that because I've been playing more neutral, so I can see the benefits of going one side or the other. I love the leveling system on this one so much more as well, of actually having to spend points like 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 points, as opposed to the other one where it was just 1 point all the way through. So at the end you're almost godly, whereas this one you've actually had to think and place your stuff more, which makes it seem, for lack of a better term, with that and the managing of the inventory, it makes it seem more like an MMORPG or more like an RPG I love, like Morrowind, where like if you've got arrows you have to manage it and stuff, which is kind of cool. I like that. So yeah, I've been playing the second one, completed it, and no one died. Yay!
Woo!
And the other game I started to play, I've only played a couple of missions of this. I've been playing Castlevania Lords of Shadow. I've beaten like the first 3 levels. Kind of cool. Patrick Stewart as the narrator. Awesome. Robert Carlyle, aka Mr. Gold from Once Upon a Time, as Gabriel Belmont. Shut up and take my money. It plays sort of like God of War and stuff. It's kind of cool. I will say, Rick, the first boss you fight in the game, oh my god, it did something that made me just giggle like fuck. I'm against this big ass like werewolf thing, and I'm taking it out and I'm fighting it. I'm like, whoa, that's a huge fucking werewolf. I finally kill it. It then jumps up and starts to go, oh, and heals, and I'm like, oh fuck you. And then I see a cut thing of press R2 to lift up this pole. So I'm like, okay, I press R2. I lift up the pole. The wolf jumps at me and goes, oh, and just impales himself on the pole instantly. I'm like, okay, then that works. So that killed him. That happened. It's got parts of the God of War, like the swinging mechanics, but it seems like you have to aim. And unlike some games like God of War, it seems a little harder, like it's actually got some of the challenge, which I like, and it's pretty good so far. There's some little things I might want to I would fix, like the camera seems more static, but I like it. God of War, Lords of Shadow. I bought the collection, so I have the first game, Revive and Resurrection DLC packs. I got the Mirror of Fate HD remake and Castlevania 2 demo, which I didn't bother downloading the demo because if this game's good enough, I'm just going to go out and buy the second game. So I didn't bother downloading the demo even though I had it. But the other stuff seems pretty cool. So once I play through this, I'll play through Mirrors of Fate too. So yay, they were the 2 games I played. Very different games. One's like a heavily RPG with some shooter elements, which is cool, and the other one's more of a hack and slash. So yay, 2 very different games. Me likey.
Awesome.
Over to the big kahuna.
Okay, the 2 games I played this week. First one, I played a game called Moondiver. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. It's basically the spiritual successor to Strider.
Ah.
Echo the Dolphin. No, it's like platforming hack and slash, just like Strider. So you run around, you mash the button, and you like swing your ninja, well, whatever your weapon is. One guy has a hammer, but it's kind of cool. I was playing it online with one of my buddies, and it was actually pretty fun. I bought the DLC character just because it was like $1, and I'm like, yeah, sure, I like characters, and he is like ridiculous. like normally the characters get like this little bit of HP, this little bit of MP, and then like attack, I think, are the 3 stats. And there's like the girl has better MP but lower HP. There's a guy with higher attack. The guy in the central part of the picture, like the main character, quote unquote, is like balanced or whatever. The DLC guy you bought, he's or you can buy, he's like a boss in the game, and he has like I think 4 or 5 times the HP and MP of like every other character. He just starts out super jacked, and they're like, oh, he gets less points or points less often. I'm like, okay, but good lord, like he looks pretty cool, and his stats are ridiculous, and it's pretty easy with him. So I was like, oh.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Which Strider is it a spiritual successor to?
Oh, like the old ones.
Oh, thank God.
One and 2.
The old Striders were fucking amazing. I recently, in like a couple of weeks back, played the PS4 one, and I don't know if anyone else is, but I was disappointed by the remake of Strider.
No,
I loved the old ones, though. I loved the old ones, but the new one just felt like, what?
No, as far as I can remember, it's more like the old ones. Granted, I haven't played them in a long time, but
it's still...
Well, the new ones were like Metroidvania-style exploration. This one's more just, you get through the stage. You just jump around, kill everything.
Yeah. What was the name of it?
Moondiver.
Moondiver.
Yeah, I know it's on... I believe it's on PS3 and 360. It's
nice.
a download-only game.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, there's a demo of it, so I'd say try it. It's pretty fun. The other game I played was Disgaea 4 on the Vita, and so far that game's pretty cool. I'm not enjoying it quite as much as D2, but it does have some of the cool stuff from there, and the plot is definitely very silly. Like, you play as this, he's a vampire, in essence, who won't drink human blood because he promised someone he wouldn't, and his steward, or manservant, whatever you want to call him, is a werewolf and keeps trying to, like, trick him into doing it. because he won't drink blood, he lost a lot of his powers, and he's now a Prinny instructor. If you don't know what a Prinny is, it's the
Jew.
Basic, yeah, that too. It's a reincarnated soul of a dead human that has to work off their sins, and they're in the body of an exploding penguin. And he just has the job of he's supposed to train them. And basically, since he's lost a lot of power, he can't like really backtalk, and his manservant he wants him to be as powerful as he was, and he wants him to stop making promises, because like his whole thing is if he makes a promise, he goes through ridiculous like turmoil just to make it true.
Can I just say, I absolutely love the fact you went, it's like, so he's now in the body of like this exploding penguin, and just continued as if that's a normal sentence.
In that world, it is.
Nice. I have seen you playing that recently on PS3, I think. Or unless PS3 can see Vita. I've been seeing you recently with that underneath your name, and I've been like, I wonder what that is.
Well, I started playing number 4 on the Vita, because that's coming out soon. And then I was talking with my wife about it, and I kept mentioning stuff from D2, which I played. It was basically last year when that came out. And she's like, oh, I should play that. And I'm like, yeah, we still have it. So she's been playing D2 on the PS3, and I've been playing 4 on the Vita, which is really weird to sit on the same couch, and we're playing, like very similar games. One on a handheld, one on a system.
So one's been playing 4, one's been playing 2?
It's technically, well, it's D2. It's Disgaea D2. I don't know. That's just the name. But it's basically the 5th one. It's after 4.
Oh, I was only asking because one was playing 2, one was playing 4. What the fuck happened to 3?
There's basically the first one, then there's 2, 3, 4, and then D2 is a direct sequel to number 1. It like has the same characters and everything. Where they're basically in the same universe, but they're more like Final Fantasy games, where it usually has a new cast, but they have some of the old people either as guest characters or sometimes they stop in or whatever. But it's more that they're separate facets of the same world and not a direct continuation.
Nice, that sounds pretty cool. Yeah, I just thought with one of you playing 2, one playing 4, I thought, wait, was 3
Yeah.
really horrible?
No, but I think it's my least favorite of the ones I've played.
Nice.
But yeah, 4 is pretty good so far. I don't know how many hours I've put into it, but it's pretty cool. And there's also because the Vita and PSP, because the first two were PSP, like the remakes of them, which is kind of cool. They add actual, sometimes they add a few things from like the game that came after it. So this actually has some things from D2 in it that weren't in number 4, and they also add like a new storyline focusing on the sub characters. And what's kind of cool is because normally you have to beat the game to do that, there's actually a code you can put in that it just unlocks that kind of stuff from the get-go. So like if let's say you've excuse me, played 4. Well, then you can just put in this code and you can play the new stuff without having to beat the game, actually, which is, I think that's a cool option. Since I didn't play 4, I put in the code to see all the stuff it unlocked, and then half the stuff I'm like, oh, I want this. So I'm playing through like, I want to beat it because I want this stuff.
Nice. Is it wrong whenever you're mentioning like D2 and D4 as like the abbreviations for it?
Oh,
What's going in my mind is the Mighty Ducks films with like D2, the Mighty Ducks and stuff.
That you're going to be like, how do you have a 2-sided die? That's a coin.
2-sided dice, nice.
Two-sided coin, or is it just a D2?
Yes. But, yeah, so that's what I've been playing. And so, on to the topic of the month, which is Hyrule Warriors. And they announced...
No, you did a tune. I had to go Richter found topic.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's so manly how he opens the chest, like Ninja Gaiden style. Anyway, we'll get to that. But they announced a couple new things about the game in a Nintendo Direct, which I think focused mostly on Hyrule Warriors. I don't know if it was all or because I didn't actually see it. I just saw some of the snippets of the things they announced. I don't know who wants to take what part, or if you want me to just rattle off like the 2 I remember from it and talk about those, or what?
I say it's up to you. You're the host. Whichever style you prefer.
Okay. Then I'll probably start with the big one. The one part I am most excited about. I'll start with the positive. They finally showed gameplay and announced that Ganondorf is a playable character, and holy crap, he looks awesome. I saw this fan-made trailer that I would definitely recommend people see, even though it's got a song with bad words. And I wish they'd use it as an official one because it gets me totally pumped to play as him. But he looks cool. Yeah.
Based on the jokes we kept talking about earlier, isn't he one of those pigmen Stacy's always on about?
Technically, yes. But yeah, he doesn't have one sword. He has like 2 big swords, and like some energy blasts and stuff, and he looks awesome. And he even has one move that kind of looks like he summons like the Shadow Pig or something. I'm not sure if that's from another one.
The Shadow Pig. Hi, Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus DLC. No, Marcus is already in a Zelda one. Doesn't he wear the tights and give you maps or something?
Nice.
But I don't know what did other people think about either that Ganondorf was announced or the gameplay or both. Or
the gameplay looks pretty cool. I'll admit I wasn't surprised that Ganondorf was announced because when they first announced the game, it went through playable characters. For me personally, I like some of the Legend of Zeldas, but I'm not into it as much as a lot of people, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I mean, I liked like Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, and stuff, but I was like trying to think which characters could be playable that I could think of, and he was one of the only ones I could list. So I was like, he kind of has to be there, especially if he's not the main villain. Because if he's not the main villain, because it's meant to be that woman, does that also mean he's going to be teaming with Link for the first time? And is that actually going to go into the story? Or are they actually going to do something awesome there?
I don't think he should.
It's possible.
Team with him, but it would be interesting if he could.
Well, if he's playable and there's co-op, logically speaking,
yeah,
one of you can be Link, one of you can be Ganondorf, which means they should address that within the story, because this is pretty huge. It's like whenever you saw Megatron and Optimus Prime have to team up, or anytime Lino has to team up with Mumra, or the Turtles with Shredder, or Lex with Superman and stuff. It's that element of, Ooh,
Yeah.
'cause I kind of like that in games where the bad guy has to team with the good guy because it makes the new bad guy seem like more of a threat, which I kind of
Yeah.
like.
Well, I'm sure that I know for a fact that if Marcus does his job, there will definitely be a 2-player co-op of Link and Ganondorf in the game. So if he unlocks them, that's like the first thing I'm going to do is pick him and just be like, let's do this. And be like, you can't do that. I'll be like, just press start.
I imagine that if that was ever a thing, like, I could just imagine that they're fighting and they fought maybe 1,000 guys. They spent months fighting together, and then, like, I just imagine, like, the second Link turns his back, boom, you're dead. At least you're gonna die before me. Like, and then, you know what, I can deal with that. Like, you know, we're both gonna die, but you died first. Like, I can see him totally doing that.
But with some of the stuff they announced, which I'm trying not to go into, it does seem like because there is some sort of a story mode there, it seems this needs to be addressed. Unless he's only there for like normal battle type mode. But I hope there's a story there, because that story seems really interesting to me.
Well, I could see, just based off how the other games work, that each character might have their own separate story mode. So it might not necessarily be that part of the story is that they team up together. They might just have the same goal, and they might address something like that. Given how the games are, I could easily see that being like. Well, also, it'd be weird to see Link talk, but anyway. So they might not actually intersect, but I imagine that they could easily have a scene where or it might be actually. I think it might be Gandalf and Zelda. I could see talking because Zelda talks, but I could see like, oh, are we teaming up? And he's like, no, our goals align. This is not an alliance, or I could see him being like a total badass about it.
Never before, never again.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like once in a lifetime he turns to the camera unless the sales are good. Ding!
Yeah.
It's like a little money flash, like his teeth are gold or something.
Yeah, I want to hear Link cut a promo where he actually speaks and he talks about the fact he doesn't like Ganondorf ever since he sold out and was appearing in games like Smash Brothers and stuff. He's like, what are you going to appear in next? Mario Kart? There's a cutscene of Ganondorf as a Mario Kart character and stuff. Yeah, because when you've been selling out, I've been here busting my ass every week fighting monsters. Where have you been?
I picture all of Link's cutscenes are he appears in the ring and just points at the Triforce sign. That's it.
Yes. With his sword. He comes down from the rafters and points with his sword.
Yes. He hook shots down.
Yeah.
There you go, I'd buy the shit out of that.
But they also showed that, at least for North America, I don't know if they set any other plans for the costumes, but at the very least for North America, if you buy the game and register it within 4 weeks of it being released, you get some extra Ganondorf costumes where it looks like Ocarina of Time and not Skyward Sword, the other one.
They do have Skyward Sword.
Twilight Princess. Oh, do they? With the two they showed, wasn't it Twilight Princess and Ocarina of Time as the costumes?
Oh, they had shown those a while back, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember if it was during this direct or if it was another time, but they have mentioned for North America pre-order bonuses. You get the choice of 4 DLC packs. I can't remember what one of them is, but one's Ocarina of Time, one's Skyward Sword, and one's Twilight Princess.
Oh, okay, you just get one. Because I know that there's...
You get to pick between them.
Oh. Well, I think the Ganondorf costumes, if I understood what they said, the Ganondorf costumes are for registering it with
Nice.
Club Nintendo, and I think there are actual retail-specific costumes, but I don't think they're for Ganondorf. I think it's for the other characters. I could be wrong.
That would make sense. I may have been getting it.
Yeah.
Wind Waker needs more love.
But that's
There you
nothing. We get a scarf.
I know.
I
Japan
want-
they get like a figure or something cool, don't they?
They get the Triforce clock.
That's
I
pretty
want-
cool. What time is it? Time for courage.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Well, that'd be the second best clock. The best, I think, was the Fist of the North Star clock that came with the basically the Fist of the North Star Dynasty Warriors.
I will say both of those are awesome. My favorite 2 clocks. I can't believe we're on a clock conversation. My favorite 2 clocks I've seen has been the Batman clock, but when the alarm goes off, shines the bat signal where the signal is.
Nice.
And the other one is my Mr. Bump clock, which is round and looks like Mr. Bump. And to stop the alarm, like the old football clock, you pick it up and you just chuck it against the wall. And he makes a oh noise when he's been hit.
Nice.
I'm like, yeah, that was adorable.
Hey, what'd be awesome was the Adventure Time clock. You could go, what time is it? Huh? What time is it? Adventure Time! Just for that alone, I would get the clock.
That'd be awesome. But no, yeah, we got a scarf, and they haven't even announced the DLC plans for Europe, and I'm like, as much as the scarf looks cool, I wouldn't wear that scarf.
Yeah.
And I'd rather have the in-game content, but the scarf is nice. And I know like Pew Pew wants the scarf, but doesn't really care about the content. I'd rather have the in-game content, because when I buy games, like I mentioned before now, it's cool, like the Hulk Hogan edition gives us the figure and stuff. All of this stuff's cool, but when I buy game special editions, I'm mainly buying them for the extra in-game content, because I want more in-game content with my games.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be, no.
Well, I swear with the European one, like the box looks way bigger than game plus scarf. The cardboard outer box looks like twice as large as it needs to be.
It's a really long scarf.
It must be.
They didn't fold it?
That would be funny. They just put it. It's like a 2-foot tall box.
Yeah, I just raised more questions. We're like, why?
Is that a pre-order spear? No, that's with Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone remembers, I don't know if it was anywhere else other than North America, but the War in the North special edition came with like a quiver. I'm like, what?
Well, say I didn't know that was a disc game. Nice. Over here, I only ever saw it on PSN. I didn't see it in the shops.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought you said that actually a spear. I'd be like, that sounds illegal.
Yeah, but I will also say for people who like this game and are excited for it, just to take it back on topic, I hate that they're doing the one thing I really don't like with games. Well, one of the things I don't like with games. It shouldn't be a case of, okay, if you go to, say, like over there, let's say you go to Walmart, you get Twilight Princess. You go to GameStop, you get Skyward Sword. You go to Best Buy, you get Ocarina of Time. It's like, no, I want them all. Just make one retailer. Have them all. Is that so hard? Just have them all.
Well, a lot of times then when they sell that later, they sell it all as one pack, so it's kind of useless that you had, that you went to get it somewhere, because then if you want to buy the rest of it, you're buying the one you already have, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, that's like the game I got sat here, which I will be playing hopefully this week, of Street Fighter Cross Tekken. The PS3 version, at least I remember from when I rented it, came with Pac-Man and Mega Man.
Yeah.
Boxer on Mega Man, yeah, but it came with those two on the disc for you to play from the get-go. I believe I believe that was the way. I can't remember if I had to download them, but I've gone to the store itself and looked at the DLC, and they have a pack that contains those two and all the other characters, and I'm like, but aren't these two already on the game? Because I remember playing as them.
Technically, I believe they were a free download, but you had to actually download them. Because I had rented it when it first came out, and those two were not in the game. So I could play as Cole and the PlayStation Cats, I think, were in it. But yeah, it was like, oh, I can't play as Box Art Mega Man or Pac-Man because you have to download them in like a week or something. I was like, well, that sucks.
I can't remember when I got it. I rented it like just after it come out or so to do a review for it. Not available in the gaming zone. But basically, I rented it and I was like, oh, cool, and I got Pac-Man and Mega Man. That's going to suck if I'm going to have to buy an extra pack to get those two. Although I was planning to get the pack anyway because it has Blanca. Yeah. Fuck off, I want Blanca.
Nah.
But yes, the idea of multiple packs, and it needs to stop.
Yeah, I definitely don't like that.
To understand, I'm collecting. I collect everything. I want all the things.
Yeah. It's like, I'll admit, with take the wrestling game, for example, and I'm one of these, and I would be the same with Hyrule and stuff. I want every character in the game. It's like the wrestling. One of the reasons I buy the special edition of it every year isn't because I give a shit. Like one year, and I don't mean any offense to Richter with this one, I didn't give a shit about Austin, but I bought the Stone Cold edition because I wanted the extra character on the ATV. just to complete the collection. That was the only reason. And also, I hoped his entrance would be for CAWs. It wasn't. Fuck you. But,
Oh.
like, I'm hoping Sting lets me come down from the rafters. But still, I'm one of those, I want every character. And it's annoying to me when they make it so, like, okay, this character, you can have it. Okay, cool, but you have to go to Amazon. But if I go to Amazon, I lose out on the character here at Game.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
Well, I understand why retailers want it, but like I feel the actual gamers lose out because of that, and that's not acceptable.
The way I'd personally do it would be if they got in-game content, make it content everyone can earn. Like, I'm sorry, the DLC for, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a fan of it, one of the DLCs from Amazon for Sonic Lost World was awesome, where it gave you the extra lives, because it wasn't DLC as such. It was something that then boosted your lives. Like if you got this game, it'd be cool if, say, I don't know, the trinkets you can put on your characters to level up. If you go to Amazon, you get a load of strength ones. GameStop, you get a load of speed or something, because you can still earn the other ones within the game.
Yeah, or if like you get early access. So like let's say the skins, you can, if you beat the game or something with Link, you'll get all of his skins. But if you go to like GameStop, you can get like his skins ahead of that, so you could start the game with, if you know, instead of, so you could still earn them, but you can get them early. Like I'd be okay with that.
Yep.
That would be.
Although I know that's what it's called, I'm not taking the piss with that. I will say, can people please refer to stuff like that as costumes? Because I always find it weird to say Link is now wearing the skin of Twilight Princess Link. It's like, wait, he's wearing his own skin? Oh! That's like wearing Nicolas Cage's face, which should be DLC for every single character ever. Imagine Akuma with wearing Nicolas Cage's face on Akuma.
For a second, it sounded like you said he's wearing the Twilight Princess's skin. Oh, yeah, I saved Zelda. Then I fucking sliced that bitch and wore her skin.
Oh, I look forward to it if you could do that to Skyward Sword Zelda. Fucking bitch, push me off a cliff.
Nah.
I hate that character. Skyward Sword Zelda, I hate her. I like Zelda, I just hate Skyward Sword Zelda. I'm also sad with the costume choices for Link. Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, and what was the other one? Skyward Sword, and it's like, and there was a fourth one, I can't remember what it was. And it's like, so it's variants on his green outfit. Give me Toon Link. If you had Toon Link as a costume, I would buy the shit out of it. I don't care if it's £5, I'd go out and buy that costume on its own. I want Toon Link.
I think he should be a separate character.
He should be. Toon Link, I want him.
Toon Link and right-handed Link.
Yes.
You pick up the boat and just throw the red lions at everybody.
Although I will say, technically based on the joke I think they showed off, isn't right-handed Link in the game?
I don't know. The screenshot looks left-handed, but who knows?
Yeah, on one of the videos they showed off, and I believe they made a right-handed Link joke, they mentioned you can swap which hand he uses in combat.
That's awesome.
You know, like on Dynasty Warriors, where you swap hands and stuff. On some of them, you can do that with this, where like if you're using the sword, you can swap to use his left hand or his right hand as the sword. So technically, right-handed Link's in the game. I'm like, wow. They also, I reckon they should have done a color. They should have also done a pack of costumes for Link, where you got to use the 4 sword colors.
Yeah, I'm surprised none of them are different colors. They're all just green Link.
Yeah, because the 4 sword colors, especially like let's say like you were playing with Marcus, Rick, and you both wanted to be Link. How cool would it be if like you could be green Link and you could turn and go, fine, fuck you, I'm red Link. Fuck you, I'm blue Link.
Blue. Yeah, I'd be blue Link, but okay, you know what I want? This is just crazy. I apologize for wasting everyone's time saying this. Given
DLC.
No, that was in Final Fantasy X too. What they should do is, now we know that there's crossover costumes in Bayonetta 2. I want Zelda dressed as Bayonetta. That'd be cool.
I want Link dressed as Bayonetta. Come on, you got Bayonetta
Yeah.
dressed as male characters. Fair, turnabout,
true.
fair play.
He should dress as John or whatever her name is. The
How
player 2
amazing.
Bayonetta.
How amazing would that be? Or Ganondorf as Bayonetta.
No, Ganondorf has to dress as the dude that owns the shop. I don't remember his name. That big black dude with the sunglasses.
I can't remember
that'd be so awesome.
I can't remember his name, but the guy who is totally a pimp.
Yes,
He spoke like
Ganondorf
a
dressed as
1970s
that.
pimp.
Yes.
There-
Oh my lord, I'd pre-order that right now in the middle of the podcast if that were a thing. I'd just be like clicking away and be like, there it is, it's done.
But did you want to take us to the next topic?
Oh sure.
I realized I think we exhausted that one.
Yeah.
Well, that was awesome. I want him to play as the pimp. Pimpendorf.
But not Tingle.
If you're watching
No,
this
of
right
course
now, people, go on Twitter, #Pimpendorf.
Yes. I need to change my Google account name to that.
#Pimpendorf.
Okay, so for the last part I'll mention before turning it over is I'll run through the playable characters that we've seen so far. Or I think this is probably a near final list, given that the game's coming out in a month. But there's, of course, Link, and he gets 3 different weapon types. Zelda, Impa, Sheik.
I still love Zelda
yeah.
with her little green outfits.
We get Darunia, Princess Ruto, Midna, Agatha, Zant, Fi, Girahim, I'm not sure, Lana, and Ganondorf. So, yes, I only know half of those, I'm sorry.
I'm confused on something.
Yes.
One of the screenshots
Uh-huh.
showed off Sheik. Does
Yes.
Zelda turn into Sheik in-game like a power-up, or is it a separate character like Smash
I
Brothers?
think it's a separate character.
Nice, 'cause I totally went around a Sheik.
Yeah. Well, she has, like, different weapons, so I'm assuming she has an actual, like, completely different fight style. So they're probably just like, just make them different characters, which is awesome.
That would totally work.
So you can have Zelda and Sheik co-op, and the game just goes, whatever. I'm not going to try to make sense of it. And you're like, yes.
But Tingle could like airbomb people, and he could like creep the fuck out of like people younger than him by like perving them out, and man, he could be like awesome. He could throw fairy dust in your eyes and blind the shit out of you. He could be an awesome.
I will say, #2 princesses, 1 fight, now trending.
Yes.
I want
So
Ganondorf
any-
dressed as Bowser.
He could know everyone all the time because maps.
Dressed as Captain Falcon.
Yes.
Okay, so any other aspects that we learned either during the direct or
Can
that
I'll,
we've discussed that you want to talk about?
I'll mention the big negative one.
Okay.
That has made it so I don't know if I'm buying the game or not. There's no online co-op. Which, yeah, I can play this locally with people, but personally I was going to buy this game for online co-op to play with Rick and Stace and Marcus and stuff. The fact it doesn't have it means I'm kind of tempted to not buy it because it's not my type of game. While I do enjoy like Dynasty Warriors 7 Empires, like I mentioned to Rick, the only reason I enjoyed that one more was because of the management stuff. This doesn't have it, so I'm on the fence.
No, I think that's fair because it seems like a really expected thing that I'm not shocked that they didn't include it, just because as much as I like Tecmo Koei games, they haven't really got a good online structure. Like, they don't quite understand what to do. So I'm not surprised they didn't do that, but I'm definitely disappointed that they didn't at least put in something because, I mean, they've done it before. Even if it was like the half-assed stuff that they've done before, at least it would be there. And yeah, it is disappointing that they didn't do that.
Yep, which even the half-assed stuff, I take that over none.
Yeah, over nothing, yes.
Although, based on some of the stuff we've seen, I am also tempted to get it for adventure mode. Because from what I understand of adventure mode, it plays like a regular Legend of Zelda game, where it's like a side, like pixelated, like old NES style walking through the forest style thing. Then when you go to fight people, it cuts to Hyrule Warriors style gameplay, which I'm like, that's kind of cool. I kind of like that. But but again, with the online thing, it's sort of like, you don't like money.
And I guess it makes sense how they're doing the couch co-op. Just to go back to that really quick, where like one person has a screen and the other has the gamepad. But I was kind of wondering if they would have an option where both would be on the screen, so you could both use Wii U Pros. But I guess not. So
one person must be handicapped.
I can understand wanting that. I will say that's one thing I do love about the Wii U. I understand the idea of the Pro controller. That's fucking awesome. It's my favorite controller, at least in terms of battery life. But whenever I played like Call of Duty, say with Chris, when I played it with Crispy when I had it on Wii, I did love the split screen of he gets the fucking giant TV, which also seems funnier that player 2 gets the bigger screen, but still, he gets the bigger screen. I get the gamepad screen and I can use it like that. I kind of love that because it's the best of split screen without the screen peaking. Yeah. However, you don't need screen peaking in a game like this. That wouldn't.
For competitive, that's amazing to have them separate.
Yeah, for co-op, not so much.
Yeah.
But in the other one, it is awesome because, like I said, you get the best of both worlds with that. Like, you can actually play Mario Kart Battle Arena or Battle Mode and not have the other person know where you are. Admittedly, they then turned around and fucked that up by making Battle on the Wii U a race, but still.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
But still, Hyrule Warriors looks pretty cool. But how about you, Pew Pew? Which stuff that came out were you excited for?
I really like all the Skyward Sword, the costumes and worlds, and all the arenas look freaking awesome. Like, some of them from Twilight Princess are fucking awesome. All, like, the settings look really great. Like, all the battle arenas look so cool. Like,
except for the missing online settings. Oh, I'll see what I do.
But God, where's the Wind Waker one?
Yeah, where's the Spirit Tracks one?
Oh, fuck that shit. That shit drowned.
That's the best one.
No, it's not.
It's the Sunshine of Zelda.
No,
I don't want Ganondorf to be ruined by having a skin that makes him look like a train.
But wouldn't that be awesome if he was walking? Because he'd look like a transformer.
No, he wouldn't.
No, he wouldn't.
The train has like his face on the front. Oh, I hate that final boss. That's the hardest part of Spirit Tracks is the stupid final fight because touchscreen only controls. I hate you.
Although there is one option for a character I do kind of hope they do. And some people may say that's stupid, fuck off. And you're entitled to say that. That's cool. I want your me from Nintendo Land that was dressed like Link as a playable character. I would totally be walking around as my me with a big sword going, killing shit.
That would be amazing.
But I realise it will feel out of place with how cartoony the me is, but still, come on.
That would be pretty cool, though. I'd take that.
Yeah, I said that because I know some people out there are like, no, the Mii's are too cartoony, fuck off, they shouldn't be in anything. And I'm like, fuck off, have fun. I don't mind the Mii's. It's like the 360 rip-off version of Mii's. Fuck, what the fuck are they called? Avatars. Thank you. Yeah, avatars. I don't mind avatars being included and stuff either. Because I'm like, it's fun. Because I'm sorry, it's like playing Mario Kart. If you're playing as your me, now that is a cartoony game, but playing as my me on a motorbike is so much more fun than playing as Luigi, even with Death Star. And plus, if I'm playing as my me, I can, like, say, go past Crispy when we're racing, hit him with a shell, then in real life turn and give him a Death Star.
That you could, and I wouldn't put it past you.
But no, I think Mii's would be awesome in a Dynasty Warriors setting. I think that'd be great.
I would take it. That'd be pretty cool. Especially if you could give them, like, any weapon you wanted. from like characters you had unlocked.
The Master Canoe.
Yes.
But
Well, that's what Wind Waker's weapon would be, right? Because he just has that red lion boat or whatever Stacy called it. I assume he would just use that like the canoe.
yeah,
He'd chuck the King of Red Lions at him, except the King of Red Lions can talk, so he'd be like, take this, you know?
yeah.
Then he could jump and surf on him.
Personally, I think that's something they should do with Hyrule Warriors, which they probably won't. Because I don't mean to sound nasty with this, I'm not trying to be. The people who make the Dynasty Warrior games seem lazy in some regards. I don't mean that in a bad way, I'm trying not to be nasty, because I enjoyed the 7th game, Empire, that is awesome. But like some of the stages are just pretty much the same thing. I kind of wish, say like, you know, in the adventure mode, it'd be cool if you could play, like you mentioned, as a separate character, as Toon Link, and then all the world and enemies were now cartoony to match him. That would be the perfect place for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could also see them charging like $10 for that. we'll reskin everything, and you can have any of the Toon costumes, and you play as your me, and all $9.99 USD, and you're like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah. But like I said, I'm not sure if hopefully I didn't offend Rick by saying they were lazy with some regards.
No,
but,
they are lazy.
uh,
I like their games, but yeah, and the problem is sometimes when they do try to do something like that requires more effort for them to do it, I'm like, this is not as good. Go back.
Now the question is, in terms of being a 3D fighter, will Link play as good as he did in Soul Calibur 3?
2?
I thought it was for the third one.
No, third had no guest characters.
Oh, I thought it was the third that was on multiple systems, and the fourth was
No, that was number
Star
2.
Wars. Fair enough too. When it had him in like Spawn and shit, I did like that. It was the fourth one though, but yeah, then the second one I did like that with the guest character. Where like in my opinion, with that the PlayStation got ripped.
Yeah.
Because, don't get me wrong, I loved the character the PlayStation got, Hiachi. However, he's already from a fighting game. That's pretty much cheating.
Mm-hmm.
We should have got, like, Snake or something.
That would have been cool.
Or Kratos, like he was in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Well, they did put Kratos in the PSP Soul Calibur. I have no idea if he was any good. But yeah, well, actually, I don't even know if God of War was out or a thing at the time that came out, though.
It's always been a thing.
It's always been a thing.
It dates back to Greek mythology. Did you not play the game?
That's true.
I remember all those Greek phrases of an over muscular action figure guy with 2 blades holding the ash of his dead children all over his face. You don't?
True. No, I don't. I didn't learn about it until college. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's how the Metal Gear Solid I got the same thing. I put ash in my face because of Greek gods.
Yeah. But, Hyrule Warriors, like I said, it looks pretty cool. Great stages. Big selection of characters, more than I thought.
Yeah.
More than I care about, but more than I thought that there's loads of costumes, there's loads of DLC. It looks like they've actually at least made some effort. While some parts are bad, like no online, they've made an effort. I honestly think this possibly could be the best Wii U game this year. Unless Bayonetta 2 comes out this year, in which case...
Yeah, I was trying to think, when does that come out? Because I'm sure
in which
he'll...
case it's a tie.
Yeah, there you go. It's a problem... I'm going to say it is my most look forward to Wii U game. No offense to Bayonetta 2, I am looking forward to that, but I'm looking forward to this a little more.
Oh, actually, this won't be the best game on the Wii U this year.
Mm-hmm.
Smash Brothers!
I'm including that. This is the one I'm most looking forward to.
No, I wasn't about for me personally.
Oh, okay.
I forgot about Smash Bros. So many games recently that I've been looking. Every time I look forward to a game, 2015. Yeah. I look forward to a game like, okay, start with this, 2015. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Honestly, I feel like that could be a possibility though for the Wii U version because they pushed back the 3DS one. I wouldn't I'm not saying it'll happen, but it wouldn't surprise me if they pushed back the Wii U one a bit.
No. If anyone's listening, Rick, take that back. If Nintendo's listening, I don't want to think fans want this. Take that back now before your damage is done.
Yeah.
We don't want it, Nintendo, so you'll do it.
No, stop! Don't bluff him.
I made
Don't
it
call
worse.
that bluff.
Now I hope they don't, because I'm gonna get blamed if they,
Yeah,
because
yes,
you said something.
Rick will be blamed if
Oh,
it's back. Hashtag
The guy-
blame.
It'd be okay if we put the game back. Should he put the game back? He said it was okay. Well, if he says it's okay, push the game back.
They look at any kind of podcast that mentions it or any kind of writing to see if someone does it. They're like, that guy said it was okay, so we're gonna do it.
Hashtag
And
that's
it
what
looks
Rick
for a
shouldn't.
scapegoat. Yeah. Rick does what Nintendo don't.
Hashtag sad.
Yeah, it's like, I believe, just for the people listening, I believe back when Richter was working for games companies and stuff like that, he mentioned before, I believe he was the person that sat down with people and at a meeting was just like, oh, you're trying to make Devil May Cry may please fans today. Have you even looked at the Twilight films? Come on, they sell. Admittedly, he was probably being sarcastic, but it got to the point where he was like, oh, they don't read my sarcasm. If I mention it now, it's a little awkward.
I'm just gonna say that you were gonna cast me as a psychotic cannibal, but the portrayal you just had was the meanest you've ever made me. I'm sad now.
On the plus side, I did say you were sarcastic.
Yeah.
The sarcastic at home at gamer.
Sarcastic at home. There we go.
Oh, speaking of, I know this is slightly off topic. Did you get my thing? My tweet?
The Hulk. The Hulk one. Yeah.
Just that your hero character stay home, that Hulk.
That wasn't my City of Heroes character, but I did appreciate the effort. Like, I like that Hulk. That's actually, I should show that to my kids. They'd be like, "Oh, that looks like you, Daddy."
I honestly didn't think you'd made a City of Heroes character called Stay Home, that Hulk.
That Hulk, yeah.
But that would have just been an epic coincidence.
That would have been funny. If I did, I would definitely have screenshots of it, and I'd be like, "Wait a minute."
That'd be epic. But yeah, Hyrule does look pretty cool, and there's a great weapon selection too.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping the game does. Even if I don't buy it, I hope it does well for the people that are excited. I hope it's good.
I definitely hope it's good.
I hope this doesn't turn into another Colonel Marines where it's like, oh, it's a licensed game, everyone's so excited, and then boom. I don't think it will.
See, because before in the one that you mentioned, the Soul Calibur, that fucking hammer was so tiny. It's like, what is this, for making swords? No, okay. Like, it was really wicked tiny. But I seen Darnia, is that his name, the Goron dude? He had the Megaton hammer, and that fucking thing was huge, as it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be this little child. The weapon had now been redeemed. That means.
And you know, people always ask for Link in Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
I know a DLC character I kind of want for this game.
Mm-hmm.
I want Kirby. Just because, imagine when the big bosses appear, if you go spit them out and then you've got their weapon.
That would be awesome.
That'd be so epic. But no, isn't it? What's the date it comes out? September something.
Yes, I don't remember the exact day.
Can't be September the 11th. That's Ninja Turtles.
No. Let me check and see if it says here. I hope it says here. September 26th.
Nice.
Yeah, it definitely looks cool. I feel like people that play like the Warriors games are gonna like it. I'm not quite sure how Zelda fans are gonna react. Like, I'm not sure that most of them fully comprehend the kind of game it is. So I could see them not liking it. But
is it wrong? I could kind of see some of them liking it, because some of them.
Oh, I could. I easily
could.
could.
Some of them liking it just because, I don't mean any offense by this, but a lot of games that have had Link plastered over it, even when it's been sort of a baddish game, they've liked just because it had that in it.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I could definitely see some enjoying it, but I'm not sure how many are fully comprehending that it's a different style of game and that they might
Yeah, it's not like an adventure.
Yeah.
It's more hack
Like,
and
oh, I'm just
slash.
stabbing guys. What about the puzzles? Don't I have to shoot an arrow at a dot and open a door? Why can't I do that? And like, no, that's not a puzzle.
You have
That's
to
to look around for a dot.
Yeah, you have to do some puzzles. You have to do as much detecting as Nolan's Batman.
Yes.
But no, I think we've exhausted this topic now.
Yes,
But yeah,
definitely.
it's pretty cool, and people are looking forward to it. So yay!
Yeah, and it's a month and a half out or so until that's available. Um, so I think, yeah, this wraps up another XGR. And like to mention again before we get out that September, the month that comes out, will be our award month where we will go through different categories, best and worst of games up until this point in time. So look forward to that next month. And I'd like to thank the people joining us today, Anastasia Lazerbeam and Chriz, aka the Mole.
I will say thank you for having us, and for people wondering about our awards, when you stay tuned, I'm not going to spoil what it is, but you may be pleasantly surprised with my choice for best game involving a fat plumber that runs underneath a gigantic turtle, pulls an axe, and drops him in lava. You may be surprised.
It's Retro City Rampage. I don't think that happened there. But anyway, so goodbye, everybody.
And
Later.